Today we are going to talk about the energy changes in a chemical change. Every substance or every chemical has some amount of stored energy. This is known as chemical energy. So potential energy, this is a form of a potential energy that remains inside the chemical, and this is a chemical energy. So every chemical has certain chemical energy. Now once a chemical change happens, what happens during a chemical change? It is associated with, you can say it is associated with absorption or evolution of this energy. This energy, by the absorption or evolution, helps in the breaking up of the bonds or for the formation of bonds. And this energy can be in the form of heat energy, light energy, or the electrical energy. So these are the three forms of energy in which they are released. So in every substance contains the chemical energy. For the chemical change to happen, there should be absorption or evolution of the energy, which helps in the breaking up of the bond and also the formation of the bonds. And this energy which is released or absorbed can be in the form of heat energy, light energy, or electrical energy. Now depending upon the heat energy is absorbed or released, we have two different types of reaction that you already know. One is known as exothermic reaction, and the other one is known as endothermic reaction. Now exo is coming out, so and thermic is heat. So the reaction in which the heat is evolved, those kind of reactions are known as exothermic reaction. Endo is in and thermic is heat, so in the heat is absorbed. So in the endothermic reaction, what is the difference? The heat energy is absorbed during the reaction. A very common example of the exothermic reaction, when hydrogen burns in the presence of oxygen, you get water, H2O. It is a highly exothermic reaction and it is represented by delta plus delta. That is this kind of a triangle is shown and plus sign is there, so it shows the evolution of heat energy, and the absorption is by this with this minus delta, this way. So this way you can see this happens. And then there is one important feature of the exothermic reaction: these reaction can be sustained without heat. This means that what happens is, initially you may need certain kind of conditions to start the reaction, but once the reaction start, they can be sustained without the external heat. No heat energy will be required, because what happens is the heat for the reaction comes from the reaction itself. Heat for the reaction comes from the reaction itself. So this can be sustained without heating, while in case of endothermic cannot be sustained without absorbing it, cannot be sustained without the absorption of heat. When an exothermic reaction takes place, there is a heating up of the surrounding. When the endothermic reaction takes place, the temperature goes down because it absorbs the heat energy from the surrounding. So the example of an endothermic reaction, a very common one, N2 plus O2 gives you 2NO. This, so whenever you write the difference, please do write this example also along with the definition. Now the next kind of things on the basis of light and the electricity. It can be photochemical reaction, Photochemical reaction में, like the very common example of the photochemical reaction is photosynthesis. We have the 6CO2 plus 12H2O will give you C6H12O6 plus 6H2O plus 6O2. This is the very example. This is a synthesis reaction where in the presence of light the things are getting synthesized. That is this carbon dioxide and water vapor in the presence of the chlorophyll and sunlight helps in the formation of the glucose. Water is produced and oxygen is released. This is the synthesis process. There can be decomposition also, like silver salts, they break in the presence of the light. So we keep silver salt in the black color bottle so that light cannot penetrate inside. Then we have the electrochemical reactions. Electrochemical reaction which happens in the presence of electricity. So electricity is required. Very common example, all electrolysis, whatever electrolysis, like we do about the electrolysis of acidified water. No, we always use the word acidified water. Why? Because water itself is a non-conductor, and when you add acid to this, then it becomes a conductor of water. So today we talked about these two kind of reaction, and then I am going to give you the assignment based upon this.